we still working on our self-care plan? Have you made lots of changes to it since you've started your journey into self-care? I bet you have. I know mine has changed over the years, depending on what I've studied and come across. I keep plugging away at it. There's many different things that are involved in self-care. Many different things you can do. So I'm going to start with getting a card for the week. Let's see what we need to work on. What does Spirit think we need to work on? And then we'll talk about it a little bit before we have our guided meditation. I've been trying to personally use my grounding mat more because grounding has never been easy for me. If you've listened to any of my other videos, I talk about that a lot. Let's see. Spirit, what do we need to talk about? Just trying not to shake the table. It's currently storming here in Southwest Florida, as it does every afternoon, sometimes morning. I hear the thunder rolling through now. We got this big thing over in the Atlantic that's going to push through here probably towards the end of the week. Oh, there's the card from last week, Unhooking the Past, if you watched last week's video. Come on, give us a card to talk about. See if I could talk off the cuff about whatever the topic is. Nothing wants to fly out. Maybe we're all healed. We've done so much self-care practice, we're just totally healed. And now we're just in maintenance mode. I don't think there's such a thing as maintenance mode. When you talk about life, human life, there may be some areas where you're in maintenance mode, but nothing wants to come out. There we go. Overcoming fear. Overcoming fear. And the back says, I will transcend every loss. Kind of think we had this card before. I will transcend every loss. Or maybe I had the card personally myself. Let's read from the book. Why do I feel like I'm getting a sore throat? When fear is overcome, you are able to rest in the resilience of your soul, no matter how frustrated or inconvenienced your ego seems to be. You are able to embrace each obstacle and circumstance as life's auspicious way of helping you become the one you were always destined to be. In overcoming fear, every loss surely inspires a gain of insight for the evolution of your spiritual journey. This mantra is ideal for opening back up to life, healing chronic fatigue, and releasing cellular memories. We humans deal with a lot of fear every single day, and sometimes minute to minute, depending on what you're dealing with. Did you ever have an idea and you just were kind of like, I don't know, maybe Sometimes that's just fear talking. You're afraid to take a leap of faith. That reminds me of a conversation I had with somebody in my office today. How he was on vacation and he was thinking about, he said he had all these ideas of businesses and things he could do, but they were too risky. So he came back to work, which I thought was funny. I think we all do that sometimes when work gets to be very stressful. And there's just not enough people, when you don't have enough hands doing the work, your stress really builds. But fears are something you should really face and not hide from them. Because in my experience in life, you hide from things, the universe somehow comes back around and kicks your butt to force you to face a fear. I've had it happen a lot in my 54 years on this planet. It's okay to reflect on what it is that you're fearing before you just leap into it. I'm not talking about being impulsive and just I gotta go, and I'm just gonna, whatever happens, happens. No, I don't want you to do that. I mean, there's some things, obviously, you don't have to put a lot of contemplation into, but the big things definitely do. Write yourself out a plan, write pros and cons, chunk it into smaller pieces depending on what it is you're fearing, like it is a business type thing. Do your research, and then see how you feel about it. If you're excited about it, then most likely you should do it and not let fear take over. Or imposter syndrome, which a lot of people suffer from. I go through it from time to time, more so when I was younger. I don't go through it quite as much as I used to, thank God. The only great thing about getting older, sometimes some of this stuff isn't as stressful or fearful. Excuse me, it's Tired Tuesday. That's what I call it. I'm always tired on Tuesdays. I'm fine on Mondays. I don't know what that is. I've been that way for a long time. Overcoming fear. What else can we talk about fear? I mean, even if you take the leap of faith and whatever you're fearful about, it doesn't work out, well, then that's a lesson learned. It's not a failure. It's not a mistake. Actually, I wouldn't even call it a failure, if it doesn't work out, because you at least put the effort in and tried. I don't really like the word try too much because in this instance it's okay, but I hear people say, I will try to do something. Well, in my head, when somebody says that, I'm like, oh, so you're going to think about how you can wiggle out from it. Maybe it's a little cynical, but I've just seen it too many times where people say, oh, I'll try, especially I'm going to try quit smoking. I'm going to try to eat healthy. I'm going to try to exercise. I'm going to try to do my self-care. Instead of, because that's not, yes, I'm going to do it, or no, I'm not going to do it. Try is the in-between piece that gives you wiggle room. So let's not use try. But, fears are fears. I mean, if you got if we're talking fears like agoraphobia and fear of heights and all that kind of stuff, that's a little different. And you can overcome some of those type of fears. A good counselor, therapist can help you do that. I'm running yarn again. Excuse me. They do what's called in vivo exposure. where you start out at the smallest thing is just to like say it, and then you move up to the bigger things, and it helps you get your body and your brain used to the exposure to that element, whatever you're fearful of. The thing about fear is that once you conquer it, it's amazing how you feel after the fact. Or you've learned a lesson from it. It's like, oh, I can add that up into the old noggin, and I know for the next time. And better to try than have regrets. Regrets really bug people. I have a few regrets. Not many, because I've always just kind of go with the flow, think about things before I leap. Not that I'm never impulsive, because, yeah, obviously, I think everybody's got a little bit of impulsivity in their life. But yeah, I would list your fears and kind of journal about them a little bit and see where that takes you. I don't know why I get on here and now I'm yawning. I'm sorry. But yeah, like this passage says, every loss, I don't know why we're talking about losses with fear, surely inspires a gain of insight for the evolution of your spiritual journey. And the evolution of you just as a person, not necessarily even spiritual. I mean, every day is a lesson. Whether you choose to believe that or not, but if you really think about it, every day you learn something at least. Whether it's something to do or something not to do. I mean, and it might not personally happen to you. You may see somebody else struggling with something and you'd be like, wow, I'm glad I'm not in that position, or I've already been through that and I know what works for me and what doesn't work for me. So think about your fears. It's good for your self-care actually too, to think about that. If that's something that's part of your fearing because of a trauma, or if it's just something you've had most of your life. And I mean, there's some fears you don't even know why you're fearful about. If it's conflict, or you just don't think you can do it, or I mean, there's tons of things. So I would journal about it and see where your fears are and see where you may be able to nip some in the bud and you don't have to worry about it anymore. Check that off your list. So overcoming fear is the mantra of the week. And we talked about fear. So let's get comfortable and maybe we'll do a little meditation on fear. Hopefully you're in your self-care space and there's no things that will get in the way of your meditation. So if you're sitting in a chair, both feet flat on the floor, nothing crossed, your hands in your lap or on the arms of your chair if you got arms. If you're on the ground, if you want to sit in lotus position, that's fine. Help you ground a little bit. And let's clear our space first. So lower your gaze or close your eyes and imagine a white sheet covering the entire floor of the room you're in. Just visualize it. Or if you're a really good visualizer, you could do your whole house or apartment at the same time. So what this sheet is going to do is, instead of burning sage, or if you run around with a cross and you bless your rooms like priests do. Um, so what we're going to do with this white sheet is we're going to raise it off the floor, not fast, kind of slow, and we're going to allow it to take all the negative or lower frequency vibration energy with it. So we're going to raise it up past your ankles. We're also going to let it to cord cut. Anything that no longer serves you will be taken away in the sheet. The sheet will cut those cords as it goes up. We just let it raise and take everything with it that no longer serves us. Any low vibrational frequencies. We just keep raising it above our knees, above our hips, past our shoulders, past our head. We're going to allow this to float up into the sky, where our spirit helpers are going to take the sheet away and transmute the energy. And if you feel like you missed anything, you can run through the process again as many times until you feel lighter, or the room feels lighter, or both, depending on if you're feeling something specific. And I like this method because you can do it anywhere and you don't have to worry about the smell of sage. Obviously you can't do it in hotel rooms or your office building. Like I work in a courthouse, I can't take sage in there. But I can use the white sheet method. So now that we've cleared our space, I want you to think about a fear that you have. You can pick a small one, it doesn't have to be a large one. And think about what the fear is. And I want you to visualize yourself, and you're protected, you're safe. So if this is something that, like a phobia fear, you are safe in this meditation. I want you to assign a color to the fear. And that may sound strange, but there's a reason. Does your fear have a smell? Can you taste your fear? Does your fear have a shape? Now, when you think about your fear, what part of your body do you feel it in? Do you feel it in your head? Your feet? stomach, your solar plexus, your heart, your shoulders. Does it just stress you out? Let's take a couple deep breaths in. Just sigh it out. So wherever it is in your body, I want you to take the color and the shape, and if it has a smell, and I want you to put it on that part of your body. So if the fear feels like a dark orange in your shoulder and it's square, just visualize the square dark orange on your shoulder. Now that you have identified it, does the fear feel any different? Just take note of that. Now I want you to take your consciousness, your thoughts, your visualizations up 300 feet above your head to your star. And if you've done any other meditations with me, I've done this a few times. And your star is emanating a bright light, a bright healing, comforting, warm or cool, depending on what your preference is. And this is healing light. So I want you to choose a color for healing light. It could just be bright white light. It could be glistening. It could be like sequins. Sparkly. And I want you to pull that healing light down into the spot where your fear currently is. And I want you to wrap that healing light around that shape that you made the fear into. Just keep pulling down the light. Now allow the healing light to dissolve that fear. However you see it, like if you like the little explosion, like a firecracker effect, or if you'd like to just wash over it and wash it away. However feels the most natural to you to do it. Now, if you're having problems dissolving that fear from the area of your body it's in, I want you to visualize a rainbow, and the rainbow will dissolve this fear. because a rainbow has all the colors. It's also the colors of your chakras. Now, if there for some reason another area in your body has popped up where it feels stressed or tense, I want you to take your light and go there and dissolve the tension. And we're taking care of these specific areas that might need a little more attention. Now we're going to allow your light from your star to fill your entire body. From head to toe. Just allow it to fill you up like you're pouring water into your body. This beautiful healing light. And allow it to expand into your aura or biofield, which is outside your body. It's the field outside your body. You may have a very large field. Just allow this light to fill up the entire room you're in. Remember to breathe. If you need to take a couple deep breaths as you're doing this, that's okay. Do what you need to do. Make sure you're breathing into your belly and not in your upper chest. And just feel the healing, the unconditional love of all of this beautiful light. Allow the thought of the fear that we started with just to completely dissipate from your brain. It doesn't exist anymore. Just keep filling yourself up and allowing it to go out through your field and into the entire room you're in. You are safe. You are relaxed. You are unconditionally loved. You have strength. You have patience. And you can do anything you set your mind to. fully present and refreshed. And I forgot to tell you my name is Crystal, and I'm from the Crystal Center of Healing. I forget that a lot in the beginning, but it doesn't really matter. If you want to work with me further, email me at crystal@thecrystalcenterofhealing.com. If you have any questions, you can email me or put your questions in the comments. If you would like to donate for the price of a cup of coffee, as a lot of people say, I have PayPal. Crystal at the Crystal Center of Healing is my PayPal. And anything else you want to inquire about, you have my email. And I hope you have a great rest of the week and keep working on your self-care plan. Take care.